right, thank you so much.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Good. How are you? Of
I'm doing well. Thank you
Good.
so much for joining me today.
course.
I just gotta say, you guys were this film was great. It was so much fun from start to finish.
Cool.
Um, and one thing that I think the main part which thrilled me was that I didn't have to see the first one to
Yeah.
understand what's going on with this one. I did see the first one, but it had been right when it came out, so my memory wasn't too good on it. But I think it's going to cause a lot of fans to go back and or people that are just checking it out for the first time to go back and watch the first one because they're seeing this one for the first time.
That was
So
a
that was great.
I'm really glad that came through. It was a big
Yeah.
part of what we set out to accomplish. So that's great to hear.
And then I didn't realize you two weren't involved with the first one. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually started digging into it, and so that was great.
Yeah.
And my first question was going to be, how did you get involved? But I heard that you two are a couple, so I really did you guys meet on a movie set or?
No, we met through our dads, actually. Our dads are both in the industry. And I read a script of Matt's. I was doing development stuff for my dad. And I was like, this is a funny script. I wonder who wrote that.
And then I came in for a meeting and that was it. We were smitten and started dating 4 months later, I think. And then about 2 years into our relationship, I was just kind of like a working writer and she was still in development. And we decided we wanted to try writing together and see if that would destroy our relationship.
Mhm.
And it went really well. And so like we go to our day jobs, come home at night and write together. We were writing the open house at the time. And then we were like, well, we kind of both ultimately, we write because we want to direct what we're working on. Like that's ultimately what we want to be doing. And so maybe we were already engaged. We were like, maybe we should like try directing together and see how that goes and see if that breaks up our relationship. And it didn't. It went really well. And so here we are, 3 films in, and we love what we do together. So it just works.
And what was the first film you worked on? Was it Open House or was there one prior to that?
Open
The
house.
open house with Dylan Minette. Yeah, we shot that independently.
Yep. And
Just
then
like
sold it to Netflix.
super low budget, and then ended up selling it to Netflix.
That is awesome. That's gonna be a great story to tell your children someday.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And then, so how did you get involved with the Wrath of Becky since you both weren't involved with the original? How did that come about?
Well, we had been friends with the producers over at Boulder Light, JD, Tracy, and Rafi, and we had been trying to find a project to work together on for a couple of years. And they called us and they were like, you wouldn't be interested in doing a small sequel to Becky? And we were like, yeah, I think we are interested. And we were neighbors with Lulu Wilson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when she was shooting the first
Small
one.
world.
Yeah, so like it was producers we loved and wanted to work with, Lulu we loved and wanted to work with. So the team was what attracted us. And also the first movie's awesome. And then they were like, okay, well, we don't have a script, so you have 3 weeks.
Yeah, they said we need a script in 3.5 weeks, and then we need to roll right into production. And we were like,
Okay.
yeah. And it was over the holidays. We just found out that
I was
Suzanne was pregnant, so we were gonna have this kid, and she was like, I'm not doing that. And I was like, I think I can do it. And she was like, you go for it.
Yeah, have fun.
So
And he did it. So
it was a miracle. I've never written that quickly. For anyone who is a writer, an aspiring writer, that's a fluke. It usually takes us way longer.
Yeah.
But it worked. I think it's just like something about it. The stars aligned. You have a deadline. You don't have a choice. And it just kind of like poured out of us.
And sometimes it brings out the better in somebody, like your best work is when you're under pressure.
You put your perfectionism to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just go for it.
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, and it was well written. I was nervous kind of going in because I'm like, sometimes sequels, they can be kind of muddy.
Yep.
And once I watched this, I was like, this is just, to me, it's just as good as the first one. I had the same feelings and everything after I watched it. And I've been telling people, you're going to love this movie when it comes out. Like, I cannot wait to start talking to people about it, get in their feelings. So, and then I saw that you casted Sean William Scott. I thought that was he's dark. He really can go dark. And I think the facial hair covered up, the stigma that he has from American Pie. So I think that really helped, and he was just awesome.
Yes, there's a darkness brewing.
Yeah.
Sean William Scott and me.
He'll talk about it. He says it all the time in interviews. When he came to Hollywood to be an actor, his dream, like the movies he'd watch with his dad, were all like dark films, and his dream, I want to go play a serial killer. And then he did American Pie, and the rest is history. But to get to do roles like Bloodline a few years back, and then now The Wrath of Becky, he really, the way he talks about it is really, it's exciting as directors to get to work with an actor who's just like so hungry to do a role like that, because they show up excited and they want to play and they want to dig their teeth into it. And the first meeting we had with him, his enthusiasm for the character, his ideas for the character, the backstory, what he wanted to do differently from what was on the page. I mean, it was really brilliant. And then to see him show up the first day and do his first scene was this incredibly long monologue that he has in the scene. That was a scene he like pitched us. He was like, what if you like the scene is there, but what if we really lay the foundation for this guy's background and what he's done in the past? And it's an incredibly manipulative, threatening moment where you really establish just how dark this guy is and the lengths he's willing to go to. And it was really just brilliant. And we were like, you get it. This is really, really something. And he elevated it to a place we never could have imagined. So
yeah, he definitely brought his A game to it. You know,
I'm really excited for people to see this. I think, for many reasons, but for Sean's performance, I think people are going to talk about it.
There's a softness that he brings to someone that's such a douchebag. Like that is eerie.
It's like douchebag's like such an he's just evil. Like he's just
a murderer. Yeah. So,
but he's,
yes,
it's he's very calculated and quiet, which is very threatening.
Yeah. He's kind of like in a way slightly confident.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, very. Yes.
Kind of eerie how he's confident. So, I mean, he definitely brought his A game for sure. That was a great choice. Was there anybody else you wanted in the film that you couldn't get?
No, there's always like the movie moves so quickly.
Yeah.
We had to be very selective and like, you can't, you send a script out to an actor that's never going to do the role or is too busy or, like whatever, but like, you don't have that time on this film. So you go to and also we were like, oh, Sean William Scott would be amazing. So you don't waste any time. You go straight to the people you think will do it. And then
there's roles like Denise Burse's character, Elena, Jill Larson's character, Daryl Senior, the DJ character, Aaron Della Villa. Those are roles where you get tape submitted, and all three of those actors were like, "That's the person," and we got them.
Yeah.
Denise Burse is the only one who you watch the tape and you went, that is who we wrote. Like that, she gets this incredibly, like this wisdom, and she's so lovable. And then you watch Jill Larson's tape and you're like, oh my God, she's incredible. And then you watch Aaron Della Villa's tape, or we did a live audition with him, and he showed up in his audition on Zoom with like a tactical vest on.
We definitely got it.
He didn't even have to like do the audition. Like we were like, oh my God, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Like, incredible. Yeah. So that process is also really fun, where it's not so much the people you're going out with offers to, but the people you're watching tapes for, and you just know the moment you see them.
That is, I mean, you guys nailed it with the cast. I'm telling you, they were great. And I know that I don't want to give anything away, but the ending, was that set up purposely to maybe a sequel, perhaps, or another part?
Yes, perhaps. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
we'd love to.
We have a lot of ideas for where we want to take things. We will tell you that everything we did in this film, including some very specific Easter eggs, very clearly leading to what we see as another film. If the world is lucky enough to see a Becky 3 and we're lucky enough to be invited to the party, we know exactly how we would wrap up what we see as like a nice trilogy. So yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of clues and a lot of stuff for what we have planned, and none of it is by accident.
So if they only give you like a couple weeks again, you already got a head start on it.
That's right. Yeah,
God.
he needs 7 days.
Okay.
That's it.
It almost seems like, I mean, there is, like, you're right, there's a lot of ways you can go with it, and then what you did to, with the ending and everything, it's almost like it could be a like a series almost now.
A
Like,
TV
there's
show?
so much, yeah, kind of in
Yeah.
a way.
I thought that too. I'd love to tune in weekly to
Yeah.
Becky. Fireside chats with Becky.
She's such a fun character, and one thing that was like really important for us that we wanted to kind of establish is that Becky is starting to become more of like a symbolic thing.
Mhm.
Like she's a vigilante, but like Becky is now like, people should like watch this and be like, I want to be Becky. I want to be.
Well, not really, but yes. in
Not really,
theory.
but like
Yeah.
but the attitude and that,
Yeah.
spunk and that. all
Yeah,
of that.
yeah. Especially as like a 16-year-old girl, like
Fighting evil,
not trying to please anyone. Yeah.
Look,
Oh,
Batman
definitely.
kills bad guys, and like I want to be Batman. So you're allowed to say that.
Still, you still want to-
I still want to be Batman.
Who doesn't? And then, like, she can, I can see people on Halloween dressing up as that character.
Yes,
Some cosplay at conventions. I mean,
that would be great.
That was another thing we really wanted to do. We wanted to establish, in the first one, she has the beanie. For us, we were like, as we lean more into bending the genre a little bit, introducing kind of an evolved Becky and a more sleek Becky in not only what we do with the camera and our, working with Julia Swain, our incredible cinematographer, but everything, our production design, the wardrobe. We wanted to create a character. Like we were like, she is going to run around in the daylight in a red jumpsuit that has these patches that let's make it a hollow. Like I want people to
Dress up with her.
dress up as Becky with that costume. So that was another thing we wanted to kind of create.
well, I'm sure they will. I can't wait to see it. And what was the hardest and most difficult part for you guys to shoot? Anything that was really just difficult, or was because of the budget you couldn't shoot it the way you wanted to, or time?
Yeah, I mean, this was an incredibly ambitious film. Ideally, it looks far
More
bigger
expensive
than it was.
Yeah.
It does look like a studio production. That's the feeling that I got while watching it. So
It's definitely
that's
not.
that's
But-
nice to hear.
Yes.
But
Far
we
from
can
it.
our crew are studio level, our cast are studio, like everyone's operating at that level and working with
It's a labor of love.
yeah,
they
a
all
very
show
small
up.
budget. I would say for some reason on indie films, the finale is always scheduled on the last day you're at a location. So if you
Yeah.
don't get something, you can't come back to the location because you're out.
Yeah, I think we cut pages.
We
worth
cut pay,
out of
we're
the-
just like,
out of
and
the-
you're working with a dog in the finale and stunts and squibs
and storms are
and
coming
a
in.
storm
and
in New Jersey.
You have to shut down.
Yeah, so I'd say the finale, we had to cut a lot of the fight between the three of them, which was heartbreaking, but I think we got enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
And beautiful location. I mean,
Yes.
it was beautiful. The cabin, just the woods, everything was great. And it's funny, watching a horror film that was all taking place, a thriller during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was great. I picked up on that towards the end. I'm like, wait a minute, this is
Uh-huh.
the day.
Yeah, we had the choice to shoot the whole finale at night.
Yeah.
And
That was the plan originally.
that was the plan. And we were like, why? It's like,
Yeah, we
he's
kinda-
running around during the daytime. It's what it leads into the tone,
Yeah.
like these men exist in reality, but this story doesn't, right? Like this won't happen in real life, unfortunately.
Unfortunate.
But so she can go around with grenades and crossbows during the daytime. And
Yeah, it leans into that satirical nature, right? Where this is like a parallel reality that's a little larger than life. And so to put her in daylight when you have these people really hidden amongst us, but in broad daylight, like it
Yeah.
felt very, it felt like symbolic, and we
Yeah.
were trying to make a subtle statement there.
And it's more frightening too. I
Yeah.
mean, just during the day. I mean, because it's just
Yeah.
because normally all this stuff takes place at night. So
Yeah.
And then are you two working on anything next? What's next for you guys?
we're not working right now because of the writer's strike. We are pens down, but we have once that is hopefully figured out, we will be working on some, we have some.
We have a few things that are
things
kind
in
of
the-
that are
in
in the
the
pipeline.
pipe.
They're all very exciting.
Yeah.
So you know, God willing, this movie does well and people
Yeah.
respond
Like it.
favorably to it. And the AMPTP comes to the table
Yeah.
and gives the Writers Guild a fair deal. You know, we're excited to jump back into things. So
That is awesome. And I'm sure it's going to do great. I mean, I loved it. My expectations, I was like, oh, you know, I know I said earlier, but I'm like, you know, and I was watching it. I'm like, oh my, this is so good.
Oh,
Just,
thank
you know,
you.
it just, and it captured what the first one brought and some.
Cool.
So I know a lot of new fans, hopefully we'll see this one and then go back and rewatch the first one.
amazing.
And Matt, how was it? And have you ever been in a film as an actor and then as a director also? Is this the first time?
It's the first time. It happened because this was a character that, for budgetary reasons, was kind of, a lot of characters got cut from the script, and for budgetary reasons, this was the next to go. And Suzanne and I were very adamant that you cannot cut the character of Sean. He's very important to kind of creating the inner turmoil within this cell of insurrectionists that you need. You know, you can't just have a conflict on the outside with Becky. You need them to start kind of turning against each other within those walls as a result of what Becky's doing. And I think it was a crucial character for us to the story. And so it was like, cut it or I do it. And I love acting. I started as an actor in the industry. I still act. And so it was like, yeah, I'll jump in and do it. The fact that there's two of us
Helpful.
made it a slightly easier decision, because on a film like this, you don't have time to play every take back and do playback and watch and decide what you're doing, you know.
Mhm.
So I got to lean into my trust in my partner here and understand that, like, if she said we got it and we're good, we're moving on. But it was crazy. It was hectic. Like,
It was hectic.
there was nothing, there was no, this was an insane shoot in 18 days with a lot of moving parts, and it was very ambitious. And to add that element was very fun, but also like a bit of an outer body experience.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not a long time to shoot anything, especially something like this with all the, you know, the blood and the gore, you know, it's
It's our crew. They deserve all the credit.
Truly.
And then Suzanne, are you going to get in front of the camera at all?
Absolutely not. This one time I had to do ADR and I couldn't sounds just like, hey, or like, ugh.
So rough.
And he was like, what? You're awful. And I was like, okay, I know. No one asked, like, never. I like, if I like him in front of the camera, I have to like go like this and like.
She's like Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights. Like, she doesn't know what to do with her hands. They just appeared.
No, I can understand, because mine are like this right now. Because I'm
Exactly. I'm like,
You two- oh man, but you two are great. Thank you again so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ryan.
Congratulations, and I can't wait for people to see this film.
I'm really
yeah.
glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
too.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.